It's time to find out what electronics I chose for my ARRMA Kraton EXB. Stay tuned and find out why and which ones I chose. Hey everyone, Rich here from the RCNetwork.com, and today we are checking out the electronics I chose for my ARRMA Kraton EXB. Now, of course, the EXB stands for Extreme Bash, and this is a roller. You actually get it with no electronics. ARRMA decided to go ahead and offer a roller, and they substituted the price difference with adding a ton of upgrades. Now, if you haven't already done so, please check out my unboxing video and first look video. I'll have that in the upper right hand corner there. And you can check out all of the differences between this and just a run-of-the-mill ARRMA Kraton. As with all of my videos, I'll have handy links to every item I mention down in the video description so you can check it out for yourself. Also, you'll want to stay tuned for the next video in this series. It'll be a running video, and I just scouted out a new location earlier this morning. Being that the EXB is a roller, you will have to supply your own motor, ESC, steering servo, radio and receiver, and battery packs to power the vehicle. Now, to take off the body, let's go ahead and rip this thing off and show you what I installed. Starting with the motor, I chose the Hobbywing 4268 brushless sensored motor. Now, this is the 1900 kV version. It's actually not the motor I had intended. With all of the COVID stuff going around, I couldn't get a hold of the actual motor I wanted, which is the Kraton 4038 Truggy motor with a 2000 kV option. That is on its way here, but for the maiden voyage, I will be running this 1900 kV buggy motor in a Truggy. Now, ARRMA makes it really simple to install this motor. They provide the motor bolts and, of course, the 14-tooth pinion that was included in the pack. Now, I do recommend using Loctite on all of those components as you are going from a steel screw into a metal object. So definitely apply some Loctite just to make sure everything is seated correctly and let that dry for about 24 hours. Now, this was actually a used motor. I had this a long time and it's only ran just a few times. If you remember way back to the S-Works Zeus, that was the last vehicle that this motor was in. But it definitely has a lot of pep, and running it on 6S, I think we'll be able to move this Kraton around pretty easily. Hands down, one of my favorite 8-scale ESCs is the Kraton RX-8 Gen 3. This thing is just a super powerhouse, running anywhere from 2S up to 6S. It can run almost any motor configuration from brushed to brushless sensorless to brushless sensored. The poster's super easy to solder on, and I did configure this with 2 XT90 plugs, just so I have everything ready for 2 3S packs. Now, the electronics tray is pretty easy. It's just a couple of screws on the bottom. You can remove that and stick your ESC down. I did opt to remove the little wire holder. It was just kind of getting in the way. So just simply unscrewing that from the bottom side, and you can remove it and have a nice, clean installation. None of my electronics installs would be complete without these little Avid wire separators. These are little carbon fiber doodads that will make your install look absolutely fantastic. They keep the wire separated, which means a little bit more heat dissipation, and plus it looks phenomenal. Last in the trio of electronics is the AGF A81BHMW. Now, this is a powerhouse of a servo for pretty much any 8-scale or 10-scale application. I'll be running it at 7.4 volts through the internal BEC on the RX-8. At that voltage, this thing is capable of 542 ounce-inches of torque and a transit speed of 0.10 second, but it can go even faster and have even more torque, up to 626 ounce-inches and 0.085 seconds. Now, specs on this servo are quite nice. It has a full aluminum construction, steel gears, a brushless motor, fully digital, and it is waterproof. Now, installing this servo was quite easy. ARRMA does provide the 4 screws and washers to install this into the vehicle, as well as a servo horn screw to mount that 25-tooth splined aluminum servo horn. Once again, Loctite on the servo horn screw, and you're pretty much set to go. Now, I did find that I needed the smaller or the thinner spacer underneath the servo ears just to space it off of the chassis. When I dropped it in, it was pretty much touching the chassis and I didn't want that. So I added the thinner spacer and everything's floating perfectly. Now, mounted inside of the receiver box, I have one of AGF's receivers. Now, these are compatible receivers with some of the most popular brands. I chose the RF-S04C. That is a Futaba-capable receiver in the SFHSS mode. It's a 4-channel receiver with S-bus capability, and it can run anywhere from 3.3 up to 8.4 volts. It does include a small little capacitor just for glitch protection, and I do have this mounted up to my Futaba 7PX radio system. Mounting the receiver in was quite easy with just some 3M silicone tape that I also mounted the ESC down with. Supplying power to my Kraton EXB will be a couple of max amps packs. These are the 5450 11.1 volt true 120C burst Lipos. These are hard case and they do come with an included XT90 connector. Now, there's no mistaking, these packs are quite expensive, but I've had some great luck with these things. I have 2 sets of these 3S Lipos. So I have an older set that I've had for many, many years now, and then I have a newer set that I was racing with in the U4RC races. Now, if these don't quite fit your budget, I'll have an alternative down in the video description so you can check those out for yourself. Now, putting 2 of these Lipos into the case is pretty much the extreme of this actual battery tray. Lifting this all the way up, you see it fits just perfectly these 2 3S Lipos. The EXB's battery tray is quite nice. It has a couple of Velcro straps on either side, just cross protecting the batteries in there. And the front nose of it is very secure, and it does have some additional apparatuses back here for holding up the balance plugs, although I'm not going to be using those. Finally, programming everything, I use the Tekin Hotwire 3. It is Bluetooth capability, so I can go straight over to my iPhone and control everything on that RX-8 Gen 3. From the voltage cutoff on the batteries, the BEC voltage, motor direction, motor type, all sorts of braking characteristics, throttle characteristics, and even additional timing. Well, guys, that is it. I am ready to rock. I can't wait to get this thing out on a new track I found with some monster jumps. So stay tuned for that. As always, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. And finally, my name is Rich. Thanks for watching.